Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to welcome our 2024 Augusta National Women's Amateur Champion, Lottie Woad. Lottie, congratulations on your terrific victory. You had a lead going into the final round, but faced a deficit coming down the stretch before birdieing 3 of those last 4 holes. Can you walk us through those 3 closing holes, and especially the last putt to win the Augusta National Women's Amateur?
Yeah, I feel like it was the 3 birdies I got were probably not as important as my par save on 14, because I think if I'd gone 3 back at that point, it would have been pretty difficult to get that back. So a good save there after having like 215 in because I hit the tree, and 15 didn't hit a good drive either. Had to lay up, but managed to hit it to 15, maybe about 15 feet. Hold that, and that's when I thought I had a chance with the pins coming in. 16's the feeder pin, so I thought I could get one in close there, and ended up missing that, but hit a good putt, so I felt like I could make some coming in. 17's a short hole. I think I had 104 in, so it was a good chance there. The putt I left myself was pretty quick, so I knew I definitely wasn't going to be able to leave that short, just kind of setting it on its way, and managed to catch the right edge and went in. And then 18, I was honestly just thinking about making birdie rather than par. I knew I needed par for the playoff, but the pin was such a nice pin that I knew I could use that backstop a little bit. I'm not sure if the shot used it in the end, but and then that putt, I feel like it was probably going past, but I was just making sure I didn't free putt it either with it being so quick, and it was a bit of a double breaker, and luckily it broke back right at the end.
Great. Well, congratulations, Lottie. Let's open it up to questions. Ann.
Congratulations. Very dramatic finish, terrific finish. And can you talk about how you maintained your composure and the nerves out there?
Yeah, I knew teeing off, only having 2-shot lead, that at some point during the round, someone was probably going to overtake me, with it probably being scoreable. Because I looked at the pins before and they were in some pretty nice locations. So I was prepared for someone to go low, and they did. So when I ended up being 2 back, I was kind of like, okay, I've got these birdie chances that they had, and just gave myself the chances at the end and luckily hold some putts.
John.
Lottie, these are the finishes that players dream about. Was it better than the dream?
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be like a nice stress-free day, but it was far from that. But in the end, it's a cooler way to finish, so yeah.
Jeff.
Lottie, 2 things. Were you looking at scoreboards during the round? And then can you take us down to the bogey on 13 and sort of how you regrouped from that? Yeah,
I looked at the scoreboard pretty much every hole when I saw it. I always look at the scoreboard, so I wasn't going to change that. And it helped me know where I was. It helped me know that I had to go low the last few holes. And then in terms of that bogey on 13, that was just a really bad hole. I went with my forward off the tee, trying to draw it round, struck it terribly, blocked it right, got the layup all wrong with the wind, left myself really far back, hooked my pitching wedge, and then I honestly thought my first putt was going in the water. I hit it so hard, and luckily it stopped, and then missed the putt. But I mean, then I looked at the scoreboard and saw I was still only 2 back, and I knew the chances. There was chances every hole coming in.
Doug.
Jeff just asked my question. I had 2 other ones real quick. What club did you hit on 18, and how far were you trying to pitch it? How were you trying to play the shot?
Yeah, I think I had 123 to the front, and it was about 130 pin, or maybe it was playing that with the elevation. I just hit like a little 9-iron, like shoulder to shoulder, 130 number, and I think it pitched about pin high. So I was trying to go right of the pin, but with the left to right wind, I was trying to start out the pin, but it just stayed there. And yeah, it was the right club in the end.
And kind of to follow on the last a minute ago, when you make such a kind of a careless bogey on a birdie hole 13, and then get in trouble off the tee on 14 and go long. Is there any part of you that allowed yourself to think, man, this could be slipping away from me?
I mean, a little bit, but not really. I just don't really like that 14th tee shot. I did the exact same thing in the practice round, hit the tree, bounced back. And I knew there was no way of me hitting that green from there. Short wasn't good, long wasn't good, so I just kind of hit my hybrid up there and played a really good chip, but it still went a good 10 feet by. And that part, luckily, just caught the right edge because it looked like it was going to miss low kind of the whole time I hit it. But I knew even being 215 from the pin, 2 back, if I could somehow make par, I was still in it. But if I'd made bogey there, I was definitely out of it.
Brentley.
How young were you when you first started kind of making these specific game plans, like very detailed before tournament? And then did you stray from that game plan at all at the end?
Probably when I was around 15, maybe 16, like when I was first got into like the England girls kind of squads and working with the coaches there, and my course management at that point was all over the place. So trying to sort that out a little bit. And then I obviously had help this week with Robbo, my caddy, being the England women's coach. We had a game plan from last year that we could use a little bit, and just made a few changes and just stuck to it, really.
Scott.
Lottie, winning this event typically gets you into a lot of big things this summer, opens some doors for you. Can you sort of put into words what winning a championship like this means and where it was on your radar maybe years ago?
Yeah, I was trying to not think about what kind of came with it while I was playing, but now looking back on it, it's pretty cool what I'm going to be able to play in this summer. And it was one of the goals this year, but it's so hard to win a golf tournament. So I just keep trying to put myself in the right places, and got one over the line here, and yeah, I'm just really happy.
Sarah.
Lottie, I mean, it's been obviously an incredible week, but you do have the opportunity to play in some of those LPGA major championships later this year, and even one in a week's time. What does it mean to have those exemptions into those major championships, and what do you think that'll do to lift your career as you have professional aspirations, I would hope?
Yeah, it means a lot, because it's what I want to do. I want to be a professional and be playing in these events, so to get this experience so early on is going to be great for me. I haven't played in a major before. I think I've played in a couple of pro events, but never like an LPGA event, so it's just going to be really exciting for me.
Beth.
Congratulations. Everyone in your circle talks about how hard you work and how much you want to be the best, what you're willing to sacrifice. What made you fall in love with this game to begin with and then want to be the best?
I think one of the things I love about this game is just there's so many aspects to it, so many ways that you can improve, and you can really never get bored with the amount of different shots and stuff, especially for around here, that you need to be able to play. I just enjoyed working hard on my game, and yeah, just trying to get better each day, really.
John.
Lottie, you had some pretty vocal supporters out there, one of whom was your grandmother. Marian, M-A-R-I-A-N?
Yeah.
Okay. And who was the lady with her? Was that your...
That's my aunt, so her daughter, yeah.
Okay. And do either of them play golf?
Pardon?
Do either of them play golf?
No.
Okay. And the second thing is you seem, if I may say so, very calm and composed. Are you trying hard to be calm and composed, or are you naturally calm and composed?
It's probably a bit of both. I don't really get too hyped up on the golf course. Like, I'll rarely fist pump. That was probably I think the last 2 holes I probably threw a little one in there. That's probably the most you'll get out of me. I just like to stay in the moment, and it's something I've been working on. So just don't want to get too ahead of myself, really.
Are you like this in your whole life? I mean, do you consider yourself fairly calm and composed person?
No.
When do you get worked up?
I don't know.
Traffic lights?
Pardon?
Traffic lights?
I mean, sure, yeah. I just feel like I'm on the golf course. I might be slightly more level-headed most of the time. Not all the time, definitely not all the time, but than I am, in class or something like that.
Alex?
When you first heard about this tournament, which was about 5 years old now, what did you think about it, and how did you get the inspiration to want to come here?
Yeah, when I first heard about it and saw it on TV, it was obviously quite a while ago, and I always wanted to play in it, but at that point I was pretty quite far off getting to play in it. So it definitely inspired me to work harder and continue enjoying the game and just trying to get better. And then my first time playing it was just when I had started at Florida State. So I feel like I grew a lot playing college golf and getting a lot of experience playing against the best in the world, who are obviously all here this week.
And how does this compare to the girls' AM that you won?
Well, this is better. But I mean, I'm happy I won both of them. The girls' AM was my last junior event, so it was really nice for me to end that on a high before I came to FSU and started playing college golf, and it gave me a lot of confidence coming in that I could just hit the ground running and just kind of fit into the college game quite quickly.
Jordan?
Lottie, we heard you're a football fan. Do you have a sports hero or anybody you've kind of found inspiration in?
Well, I am a Leeds fan, and I don't know if anyone knows the score because we were losing before I teed off, but I don't know what the score was, so I'm really hoping we won, but I'm not sure on that. Football, probably haven't got a football hero, just support my club. And in terms of golf heroes, I usually just try and support the English pros like Charlie and Georgia. What they've done, specifically when Georgia won the Open. I was quite young when that happened, and that definitely inspired me.
Paul?
Lottie, did it help to have competed on this course before? In other words, is it a little bit like a poem that you need to read multiple times in order to understand it?
Yeah, definitely. Playing this course before, I was really confident with the lines off the tee, because when I first came here last year, I didn't realize actually how tight and demand it was off the tee, but I knew that coming into it, so I kind of knew what I needed to work on driving a little bit. And then just getting comfortable on the greens. I think it's very difficult to be comfortable on the Augusta greens. And even Champions Retreat, those greens are really difficult. So knowing the reads a little bit and how quick some of the putts are, even though I still ended up ramming half my putts by on the front nine today.
John?
Lottie, do you embrace the strategic nature of this golf course? Because you seem to kind of methodically go about your business.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've got in my planner the lines off the tee. I'll just kind of check in the compass on the course planner a lot because the winds were swirling all over the place, and you can kind of get tricked into thinking the wind's one way when it's actually not, and that's important when it's so tight off the tee. So I was just really focusing on that. And just sticking to the plan I'd worked out, really.
Jeffrey?
Lottie, 2 down with 4 to play. Your caddy and your college coach had a lot of belief in you because they know you have a lot of belief. Where does that come from inside you?
I mean, I'm just a pretty competitive person, so I obviously wanted to win, but I feel like the confidence and stuff like that just comes from knowing you've put in the hours and knowing I'd practiced my putt a lot before this week because it's usually a weaker part of my game, and if it doesn't fall into place, it can affect whether I win or not. But this week was probably one of the best, specifically today, the best weeks that I've had on the greens, and thankfully it came at the right time.
Gabrielle?
Lottie, what did you learn about yourself as a competitor today?
I'm never out of it. When it was tough out there, I hung in there, and that's going to give me a lot of confidence. mistakes are bound to happen around this course. Just wasn't a good time for me to make one, but I did, and it happens. And I just kind of, I stayed relatively calm and knew that I could get some back.
Spoken about your work with a sports psychologist. Were you able to employ some of the strategies you've worked on with him today?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of breathing to try and calm myself down a little bit, particularly as, I mean, I feel like I've never had as much adrenaline as I did today because I was hitting the ball, specifically my irons, really far, so kind of threw off my distance control a little bit at the start. So I was trying to either factor that in or calm myself down a little bit to make sure I was hitting the right distance.
Joel.
You mentioned your focus on trying to stay in the moment, not trying to get too high or too low. When you're in a situation, though, where you're down with a couple of four to play, are you still able to find fun in that moment, understanding that you're a competitor and, clearly there's a job to be done, but were you able to still kind of take a step back and realize you're playing the back nine of Augusta National in a tournament?
Yeah. If I'd been told before this week that I'd be 2 back with 4 to play, I'd been like, yeah, perfect. That sounds great. So to be in the mix on the back nine at Augusta is something that everyone dreams about. So I was trying to really embrace it, and I didn't really have anything to lose at that point. I think I was in second, but I couldn't really drop too much. I had a couple of shots in there. So it was really just go for it.
Scott.
Since you said you were paying close attention to the scoreboards the whole time, was there any part of you looking up at Bailey's score thinking, what is she doing out there and what course is she playing?
Yeah, I was definitely looking at that. I had a feeling someone would go low. I didn't think, I think she shot 66 low, which is a really impressive round. So I was obviously seeing her score keep on getting better and closer to mine, then eventually overtaking it. But I thought that was probably going to happen. And I knew I had to remember that I had holes ahead. The finish, there was some chances in there, so I just had to kind of get through the hard holes without too much issues, other than the bogey on 13, but yeah.
Doug.
Lonnie, you first watched this when it started. I assume you've watched the Masters for many years on television. All that, what's it like sitting there in Butler Cabin about to get a trophy? Is it?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't think it's really sunk in yet. Like, I only finished my round not that long ago, so I'm still kind of getting back in the moment here. But yeah, it's just really cool to be standing in the same places that Masters champions have stood and just following their footsteps a little bit.
Alex.
Yeah, Lottie, you said that obviously you just did this, so you got a lot of things to think about. But you're going to play in numerous professional events and majors. Does this, what happened today, change your timetable at all in regards to professional golf?
I don't know. I'm probably not going to be thinking about that just yet. So just gonna keep trying to get better and play well and just see what happens. Really, I don't want to rush anything, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep working it with FSU. Like we have a national championship coming up, so just trying to give ourselves a chance in that.
Maybe just a few more questions. Ben?
You just mentioned FSU. You were joined by 2 teammates this week at Augusta National Women's Amateur. Can you speak to the strength of the program and also the strength of competing in the ACC and just what American collegiate golf has done for you to get to this point?
Yeah, having 3 of us, including myself, playing this week just shows that we have a lot of strength in our program at the moment. So hopefully we can just continue that into postseason. Mirabelle in particular played really well this week, and she couldn't play the full, but she's really got into it in the spring. So just hoping we can all just keep pushing each other on, and hopefully this win will help us just keep going.
Last question, John.
Lottie, what was the name of the club where you learned to play, and was the professional there the man you regard as giving you your first instruction?
Yeah, so the club which I was first played at was Farnham Golf Club, and I'm still the only club I'm a member at to this day. I started there when I was around 7, just in like the junior academy, and Luke, my coach, is the head professional at Farnham, and he's here, and he's been my coach since I was
Do you have
7.
a second name?
Bone.
Bone.
B-O-N-E.
Thank you.
Well, before we go, could you take us through your 5 birdies in terms of the clubs that you hit it?
Yeah. So hole 2, I think I hit 7-iron. I hit a really good drive on that one. Just trying to land it front half of the green and feed it round. The ball was really close to being really good. It just hung on a little bit on that slope. Hole 7. What hole's that? Oh, I only had 60 yards, so 58 degree. And that putt was lightning that I had there. 15, I think I had 91 playing about 87. I had a 54 there. 17, I think I had 104, 103. I hit a 50 degree there. And 18, I hit the 9-9.
Great. Well, thank you, Lottie, and congratulations on a terrific championship. Thank you.